Welcome back to Still City Mukbang Variety Pod. I am your host and creator, Tara Molina, also known as T Rex, T-E-E-R-E-X. And we've been talking about addiction. This is our third and final installment, episode 1-3. We're going to conclude it today by talking about recovery. Because although addiction is a horrible thing that binds your soul and mind, you can recover from it. And I'm going to be reading and following along with some notes that were written by Dr. Tony Raj Junea on how to overcome some of the cravings and the steps that you need to take to start your road to recovery. We're also going to have another guest today. Michelle is going to stop through and tell us about her success in recovery. That will be a little bit later on. But for now, let's get started on what causes cravings during an addiction recovery. When you use substances like opioids, it changes the chemicals in your brain. First and foremost, when using the drug, your brain gets flooded with dopamine. And that is the chemical that's associated with pleasure, that feel good feeling. And eventually it will inhibit and diminish your body's natural production of these chemicals. At that point, your body will start to crave your drug of choice. It does this in order to get your body back to a feeling of being balanced because the drug has caused a chemical imbalance in your brain. Dr. Juneha advises us that once you have detoxed, these cravings will pass. They will decrease in frequency and in severity. However, they may not go away completely. This is why it's important to know your triggers. The doctor advises that these urges and cravings can be strong and powerful, but it's important to know that they can and will subside within anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes. The advice Dr. Judea gives is to just know that these urges will come and basically just ride along with them. Because you know that these urges will come, be prepared ahead of time to battle the urges. That could be something as simple as staying away from a certain place that causes you to have cravings. You could be riding by a place that you used to get your drugs. Maybe you're driving by that place every day on your way home from work. Take another direction. Something that simple and that small can help you fight that urge. Also, make a list of all the reasons why you quit, and also list the potential negative outcome if you start using again. Keep these goals handy, keep them nearby, reference them frequently so that you can remind yourself of the ultimate goal. Be consistent with your therapy and your treatment. The type of treatment that is commonly utilized for recovery patients is cognitive behavior therapy. The technique is used to help you redirect your focus from the cravings. Some of these things that can help direct your focus in a more positive direction are counseling, sponsors, group therapy, and individual therapy. These things can and will help you stay on track. You just have to be consistent and determined to seek this help when you need it. It's important to make sure you trust the sources that you're using. You don't want to use someone who is still out there using. It could be maybe your best friend, but if they're still out there using, that's not someone that you're going to want to rely on to help keep you on the wagon. You have to cut people, places, and things that encourage you or influence you to use drugs, even if it's a family member. You may have to separate yourself from that person. It's important to find other ways to distract your mind. You could pick up a hobby. You could start working out, reading, drawing, painting, puzzles, meditation, yoga, prayer. These are just some of the things on Dr. Janae's list. It could be anything, something that you love. It is important to exercise regularly because this is a routine that you can get into daily or weekly. You'll know that you need to be at the gym or outside running at a certain time each day instead of thinking about returning to drug use. Focus your mind on your exercise routine. Take a walk, ride your bike, because exercise and a healthy diet plays a major role in your recovery. Try to stay away from stressful situations because stress is a major trigger to return to drug use. You get stressed out, the first thing you think of is a drink will calm me down or a pill will calm me down. So, stress is something you want to try to avoid. A good way to avoid stress is through meditation, also exercise, like we mentioned, and specific breathing techniques that helps relax your body. Another thing to take into consideration is that relapse can happen. What you don't want to do during a relapse is beat yourself up. You don't want to guilt trip yourself into believing that you can't do it because you relapsed once or maybe even twice. Always maintain the mindset that you can get back up, brush yourself off, and start over. It's not a failure because you relapse. It's a slip up. It's a relapse. And you can recover from that. You can come back from it. Just don't beat yourself up. And the other important thing to do if you do relapse, don't hide it. Don't keep it a secret. Tell your counselor, tell your friend, tell a family member. Let someone know that you did relapse. You may feel embarrassed, but it's a mistake. And people do make mistakes. If you hide it, you're more likely to relapse again. Tell someone who can support you through that relapse. Encourage you to stand up and start your recovery all over again. As I stated earlier in the show, we are going to have a guest. Michelle is someone who has been through all those stages of recovery. She's going to tell you exactly how it was for her, how she made it through 12 years of sobriety. I'm going to turn this show over to Michelle right now. Take note of her story and enjoy. I'll be back.
Hello, everyone. My name's Michelle, and I'm going to share a little bit about my story of addiction. My journey into addiction started after a back surgery at just 14 years old that left me in constant pain. At first, the pills felt like the only way I could function, and for a while, doctors handed them out like candy. I could walk into almost any office and leave with a prescription. But it didn't take long before the pills weren't enough, and the need for more took over everything. What began as medicine turned into desperation. And when I couldn't keep a high with pills anymore, heroin became my answer. That decision dragged me down a road I never thought I'd walk. Addiction stripped me of everything that mattered. I became someone I didn't recognize. A mother who could no longer take care of her children, a sister who caused heartbreak, and a person who lied, stole, and manipulated just to keep from being sick. It was a long road. I was arrested for doctor shopping, then later for selling and trafficking drugs across state lines. That cost me 4 years in prison and years of shame and regret. During that time, my children went to live with my sister. They cried for me, begged for me, and wondered why their mom chose drugs over them. I will never forget the look in their eyes when I said goodbye. It was a mix of confusion, anger, and heartbreak that still haunts me today. Heroin nearly killed me more than once. I overdosed, woke up choking with paramedics standing over me, and sometimes didn't care if I lived or died. I slept in cars, trap houses, filthy motel rooms where violence and fear were normal. I pawned everything I owned and stole from people I loved the most. I was beaten, robbed, and left for dead more than once, but still I chased the next high. I remember the endless sickness of withdrawal, the sweating, vomiting, shaking so badly I couldn't stand, swearing I'd stop only to give in hours later. My kids had to watch me waste away, hear me make promises I couldn't keep, and grow up without a mother they deserved. Addiction didn't just destroy me, it stole their whole childhood. But somewhere in the chaos, I reached a breaking point. Prison forced me to detox, and for the first time in years, I was sober long enough to think clearly. I was sick of being sick. More than that, I was sick of being absent from my children's lives. I realized I had a choice. I could keep going and lose them forever, or I could fight with everything in me to become the mother they needed. I started going to meetings, leaning on women who had walked the same road, and found faith that carried me through the darkest moments. It wasn't easy. I relapsed, stumbled, and cried more tears than I could count, and still do. But every time I thought about my kids, I got up and kept going. Today, I've been clean for 12 years. Addiction once stole my freedom, my family, and my identity, but recovery gave me a second chance at life. My kids got their mom back, and together we're slowly rebuilding our relationship. It hasn't been instant. Trust takes time, but with honesty, consistency, and love, we're healing as a family. I share my story not because it's pretty, but because it's real. Drugs don't just ruin your life, they destroy everyone who loves you. Now I use my past to help others. I'm a safe distributor of Narcan. I keep it with me because I know firsthand how quickly an overdose can steal a life. If you or someone you love is struggling with addiction, please know there's help. You can call the National Helpline at 1-800-662-4357, which is free and it's available 24/7. If you need Narcan, education on how to use it, or just someone to talk to, please reach out to me. I will do everything I can to connect you with resources, walk beside you, and remind you recovery is possible. Because if I could come back from the darkness, so can you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you for that information. Thank you for offering your help. Thank you for your story. That is encouraging, and I'm proud of you. You did it. Congratulations. You did it. And you all who are struggling out there, you can do it too. I thank you for joining me on this final episode of Addiction. and addiction recovery. Be sure to join me again for new topics. Thank you.